All right. I am here with TJ Gausman. TJ, how are you?
Never better. How are you?
I'm good. So, we're going to talk today about how to find a buyer a house. What are some of the strategies that you're implementing? Don't work with
Uh,
buyers. That's one
yeah,
strategy.
get listings.
Hmm.
That's the big one because then you can create your own inventory.
Right.
Um, and the other thing is, we've found I think probably 40% of our deals this year have been off market. I think we've got to get more creative than ever and trying to create our own inventory. Um, what do you think?
Yeah. Like, tell me more about that.
So we're okay. So 2 years ago, let's give a great example. A buyer used to be a lead on its own, right? So you would think, okay, I've got a buyer. I'm going to go and find them something on market. Now we view buyers as tools to get listings. So use that buyer to leverage listings through mailers and calls and say, hey, we've got a buyer for your home. Would you sell if conditions were perfect? So it's almost like buyers have become listing generation tools as
Mhm.
opposed to leads right now.
That's a really good point. I mean, that has been true. So, yeah. So use them to get listings because once you have a listing, you should be able to generate two to three more pieces of business at least off of it.
Yeah. So your listings are buyers, right? They've got to go somewhere. And then if you do it well, in theory, you should at least if you do open houses, if you do mailers, if you do door knocking, you should be able to probably get at least one or two more leads. That doesn't mean deals right away,
Hmm.
but at least one or two more solid leads. So the key, and every agent that's got some experience will tell you like listings last, right? That's going to
Right.
keep you in the business. It's never been more true than now, just statistically, that if you don't have listings, you're in a soft spot right now.
Yeah. I think too, one of the tools that we use that I think is underutilized is communicating with other agents.
Very
So,
important, right?
wow. So you can pull a list of houses that had come off the market, or maybe houses that, if you're noticing and you're in an area where houses seem to turn over about every, let's say, 6 or 8 years, what houses sold 6 or 8 years ago in that area? Call the buyer's agent, say, hey, have they thought about selling? Um, in houses that have come off the market, if your buyers are a little flexible, maybe they just needed more time. So maybe your buyers are willing to give that time. So just like communicating with each other to see what we each have.
I think that's really smart. And I think something that you said is really important. So I think most agents will try to call the seller directly.
Yeah.
From 6 to 8 years ago. I think you have a much softer entry if you call the buyer's agent. You build relationship. There's
Yep.
already a relationship there. That's really smart. I mean, if you're really focused on your client first, that's probably the best way to do it. I think that's really good, Jen.
We got two houses under contract yesterday by using that strategy. And exactly your point, one of my colleagues was like, well, why don't you just call the seller? I was like, why would I? It's just so much, like, they know the other agent already,
Exactly.
and you get to make
Yes.
them, that agent, a hero. And we don't really want, a lot of agents don't really want to do dual agency. I don't generally have a problem with it, but it's like, I'd rather just have another great agent on the other side. It just makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, and also like the fact that this is a relationship business. If it's an agent that's doing business, like Jen, you called me yesterday and said, "Do you have anything this, and this?" Right? Like,
Right.
these relationships are more important than ever, and we're finding that not within your brokerage. I mean, within your city, to
Right.
be able to go like, because guess what? There's 100 agents doing all the business in certain areas.
Right.
All you got to do is be in relationship with those agents, and you're going to know about 80% of the inventory.
Exactly. But then, yeah, adding the common stuff like door knocking, mailers, circle prospecting, things like that to find them. Are there any other creative ways that you guys, what else are you doing to find buyers' houses?
Yeah. So for us, I mean, the big thing that we're focused on right now is we're sending 400 letters a week.
Okay.
To Nate about this before. We've tripled down on it essentially. So we're doing 1,600 a month.
Okay.
The return in theory should get us 1 to 2 listings a month over time, which also is placing our buyers at the same time. So in theory, 1 deal is 3.
Right.
So if we can get that to where we're getting two a month, we're looking at 6 deals a month, 72 deals.
But you bring up a point of like creating a process, and if it's a new strategy, putting that strategy in place for a minimum. And Monica and I did a Real Estate Fight Club podcast on this topic. Like, how long should you do a strategy before you give up, right?
Yeah.
And we said pack your patience for like a year, but really do the thing. You will begin to see results around month 4-ish, give or take.
Yes, I agree.
But you have to be doing the thing, right? You can't just be like, well, I called one fair sale by owner every day for a month. But for sale by owners are good, calling them, talking to them. Also for rent by owners, because some of them are looking to liquidate, or absentee owners is a good way to find houses too.
Very good. Yeah. And the cool thing with them is oftentimes they've got more than one piece of inventory. So, might have 10 houses, and if you can get in relationship with them, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I do think is necessary to say, like right now, more than ever, paid leads are horrific. They make
pay for leads.
No sense right now. It is. I mean, if you're paying for buyers right now, you are doing it wrong. I don't care how big your team is. It's just, there's no way that can make sense right now.
No, I agree. One of the other tools, like a lot of people know that I use like a call system called Vulcan, but one of the other tools that we're using that gets us listing leads as well is called Pipeline Pro Tools. And they actually partnered with us on the podcast. So I just want to mention it here. If people want to use them to get, it is buyer and seller leads, but they'll give you a free playbook of how we're getting leads. And that's been a great lead source. So they can just go to pipelineprotools.com/fight club, get a demo for free, and then get the playbook for free that we're using, and then do that and get leads that way too. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to do it. But putting the process in, figuring out what you're going to do, like mine is making calls, yours is sending letters. I also want to offer, if you do want to make calls, like we have scripts available too, just message and I can get the scripts. Are you willing to share your letter that you're sending?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Yeah, we can put that up.
Okay.
In the vault.
Well, yeah, they can, we can put it in the vault, which is jennifermertlin.com/vault, or they can just ping you and you can send it over to them.
That'd be great. We'll be glad to do that. I've sent it to some agents in Cincinnati. I don't care. We're all in this together. There's no.
You didn't invent the letter, TJ.
No, I didn't. Yeah, and I'm not worried about it. If we both send the letter, I'll take my chances in a listing for you.
I think it's fine. Well, yeah, right. I agree. Like, let's help each other out. So if people do want to get in touch with you, learn more about your process, get your letter, what is the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, just shoot me a text, 513-379-2000. If you just put your email and put letter, I'll send it to you. And then you can make any changes you want.
Perfect. All right. Thanks for being on, TJ.
Thanks, Jen.